Okay, let's get on to the 8 items we picked. There's probably more, quite frankly. 8 items that could really wreck your retirement. And the first one is just loss of the marital bracket. Put this up full screen, Aaron. Folks, this is a huge deal. Notice that if you're married filing jointly, look how much more money you can make before you creep into these higher tax brackets. Well, if you lose a spouse, look what happens. You go to what's called a single filer. Those rates come down. Well, usually income doesn't drop that much, which means there's the potential that now that you're going it alone, your taxes will actually go up. Number 2, the other issue that occurs when there's a loss of a spouse or partner is you lose their Social Security and or their pension. I met with a couple the other day. His Social Security is about $2,500 a month. Her Social Security is about $2,200 a month. He has a pension, I think it was around $4,000 a month, but when he passes, it has what's called a 50% survivor option, meaning at his death, she's only going to get $2,000 a month for the rest of her life. She kind of knew that. They were aware of that a little bit. They weren't sure how that all worked. But then when I said, gosh, ma'am, you're going to be taking a $2,000 a month haircut, then plus you're going to lose your $2,200 a month Social Security when he dies. And she's like, what are you talking about? That's $4,000 a month that my income is being cut. But that's the reality of it, folks. So we can help you think through, first of all, what's going to happen when one spouse dies? Is there going to be a loss to Social Security and or pension? And ways we can try to mitigate those losses so that the remaining spouse is having enough money coming in the front door versus the amount of money going out the back door. We can help you think through that. Number 3, potential loss of wages. Well, this is a biggie. Let's say one of you are still working and you die. Well, it stands to reason if you're making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, that's $50,000 or $60,000 that is gone forever. This is why life insurance is so important if you are still working and assuming you're still insurable. In fact, at Tony Walker Financial, we can look at your insurance situation, and if you'd like us to, we can provide life insurance to try to make up that difference should you pass away during your working years. Serious consideration there. Health insurance costs. This happened recently. A person passed away. The spouse was on his health insurance. She could no longer be on his health insurance. She had to go out and find her own health insurance. She went under the exchange. We helped her figure all that out. But the point is, if there's a death, in many cases, health insurance will be negatively impacted, and the cost of health insurance usually goes up. So be aware of that. No one to care for you later in life. This is probably the biggest issue I see among single folks or people who have lost a loved one, is they are worried as they age, who's going to be there to take care of them. If you think about it this way, your partner and you have been together all these years. I know my wife had to go through shoulder surgery recently. Not that I'm husband of the year, but I was able to take her to the doctor, be at the surgery, help her with some of her rehab, be there to step and fetch and do all the stuff she needed during recovery. Well, think about wasn't around, and she had to go it alone and do that. It'd be very, very difficult. So never negate the fact that your spouse is there to assist you in matters that, quite frankly, sometimes we all take for granted. Spouse is gone, more than likely you're not going to have anyone to assist you. Oh, one more thing on this note. I met 2 different couples yesterday about my age who are bringing their parents into their home to take care of their aging parents. And I would say, good for you. And I know it's been very hard on you. One lady said, you know what, Tony, I have to sneak out on the back deck for 30 minutes to get some downtime. She's recently retired. She's having to take her mom to the doctor all the time. And I said, God is going to honor you for that. So you hang in there. But again, good for you folks who are trying to help your parents in this situation, because it's the reality of what's going on. Loss of assistance around the house. Now, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but a lot of times I've met some men out there who are retired and they are good around the house. In fact, one person I met with, I asked about having to call service people and plumbers and all that. And she looked at her husband. She said, he does all that stuff. I don't have to worry about that. And then I looked back at her and I said, yeah, but what if he checks out? Who's going to check in and do all that? She hadn't thought about that. I mean, the cost to maintain a home if either spouse is doing a lot of the work, it's a biggie. Comes into play a lot with large houses that have, big yards to mow and that type of thing. Think of who's doing a lot of the chores, if you want to say that, around the house. If that person dies, that person's gone and you're going to lose the assistance. Going it alone and making financial decisions. This is a biggie. Most spouses, most partners will admit that of the 2 partners, one usually handles most of the details of the investments. And if that person dies or that person begins to age, we're going to be talking about declining health on one of our other shows coming up. It's a game changer because usually the spouse that are left holding the bag with these investments, they're on their own. And if they don't have a reputable firm and an advisor they can trust to take over, well, good luck with that. At Tony Walker Financial, we're going to make sure that that spouse that's remaining is taken care of, and we're going to take care of them with dignity and respect and do as a fiduciary is supposed to do what's in their best interest. Next, taxes to your kids. Put this up full screen, Aaron. This is the tax tumor, folks. I know you hear me talking about it. But listen, folks, this tax tumor does not die when you do. The tax tumor will go to the kids to deal with. And in many cases, this could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. There are other assets that could be taxed, but particularly anything that's what's called a qualified account, a 401k, IRA, TSP. We at Tony Walker Financial can help you strategize now on how to deal with that tax tumor versus just dying and leaving it and throwing it in the lap of your kids.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.